We have begun.
Hello.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Oh yeah. Shit.
But we ain't got time for New Year's. We've got time for
Let's get the shit.
No room for Wallflower. Who wants to tell me what happened last time and be detailed? Really detailed.
Fuck, man, that was like a month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll let you guys want me to do it. You can go.
All right. Wait, what? Who's doing it?
Go ahead.
Am I doing it or are you
You
doing
do
it? I'm doing it? Okay, cool. Last time, previously, on No Room for a Wallflower, the party had just recovered from the terrible attack by the machine, and kind of with the citizens of with the Hungarian citizens of Hivehome kind of scattered and such a large number of them outright killed, and we just learned more and more bad news. One of the other Hungarian settlements had been basically destroyed outright. Yeah. And so we were left to, we're kind of put in a position where we were left to make our way to meet up with the Hungarians that remained and try to find some ground. So the team kind of recognizing that a lot of our routes were closed off to us, and with the machines were still pressing in on us, we decided to plan out a route of escape, and that is currently where we are. Unfortunately, during our travels, during our long travels, we have had some people disappear, namely Kanya. Kaiser. Was it Gear that disappeared?
Yeah, it was
I
Gear and
disappeared.
Kanye.
I'm lost.
I see. Yeah, Kanya and Gear have disappeared. Kaiser is under a truck or something. I don't remember.
Kaiser. Yeah, Kaiser. Yeah, the truck.
And Ibiku is working themselves to death inside a machine that they can
Slowly aging, walking.
Fucking, they've programmed the machine to keep moving even when they fall asleep unconscious. So,
Yeah.
And where's my man's? That's what happened last time.
Yeah. Where's my
My
man? Exactly.
Where's my man?
Yeah, the only thing that you missed is that Prider Heidel, the leader of Michael Fields, the destination
That nigga
that you all are
dead.
headed to, Prider Heidel, been crushed by a boulder. In the attack on Daylight, which caused a cacophonous explosion towards Hivehome, and also did some bad things in Hivehome. And yeah, so one of the HUC's leaders is down, and a number of the HUC's population is down. But that is not important right now, because Ilar Ordo has sent you all to go chart a path to Michael Fields using the underground caverns here on Harsinia. You all also have a Impi Bongwani of the Loins, or the Indilinji, arriving with a printer that you will need to regroup with them at some point. But we don't have time to think about that right now. What we have time to think about is where Kanya is at. That's
Shit.
plays. I don't like that music. I can play some other. I like this. Yes, play this music.
The tunes are important.
Yes, Ambient 3, my favorite.
Kanya. Okay. Kanya, you have you have strayed away from the HUC convoy. You spent some time to repair one of the trucks to get it up and running as it was kind of slowing down. But you've somehow found yourself straying a good distance away from the convoy, following something. Maybe, no, definitely at the direction of your NHP Sisyphus. It says to you, Kanya, the patterns lead this way. Take this left, then this right. Don't worry of being lost. I have found you, and you have found the way. Follow the path I chart. There is something we must see. Being led down an impossible path of an unknowable direction, you let Sisyphus lead you, or maybe you're leading them. Cacophonous kaleidoscope of paths and angles display before you. You follow one path, but get the sense you follow each path. You walk with 2 feet but carry many memories of other paths traveled. You pause for a moment. This seems familiar. You didn't know it, but there was a story and a Sagnoma told you. The Sagnoma Lufundo. You continue to tread while Lufundo tells you the story in your memory's eye. Little impy. Why are you lost? You will be lost this day, that is for sure. Again, why are you lost? You are not lost this day. Why are you lost? Do you not remember the story of the Moonchild I told you on this day? Why are you lost? The story where the father had 2 partners, one with a fat womb and one with a barren one. You remember the barren partner was Misery. Turn around, little impy, because you were lost this day. Yes, the one Misery. They would not be miserable for so long. On one day, they would birth a Moonchild, one marked with the sign of the father. Well, the partner with the fat womb would be jealous. Why are you lost? How dare the barren woman birth the Moonchild? I am the one with the fat womb. Yes, keep walking. You are almost there. The fat womb, indeed. Well, if it is not me to birth the Moonchild, then no one will feel the pride from it. I will cascade your house. I will drive you insane. I will birth many false representations of the father. Kill the barren woman and make her alone. Make her beg. Make the child, the Moonchild, beg. Yes, make it a beggar one. Yes, little impy. You remember the story, do you not? Stand up. You must find the Moonchild. End their misery. What do you do after remembering the story?
A minute.
Oh god.
I need a drink, apparently.
Cracker, but a cold one.
I need to process that for a minute.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Let's go into gear.
Give me that. I have some things to
Think about it.
It took me like 5 weeks to process this.
Gear. We find you somewhere down a narrow cavern, trudging through broken grounds, possibly the shedded husk of hive worms around you. Nothing too concerning for you, though, because the question that begs and tugs at your mind is, are you really you? It doesn't feel that way. Gear, you're a doctor. Gear, get a hold of yourself. Where am I? Where are your compatriots? Gear, you're a doctor. You look around, not seeing your compatriots. You've somehow gotten lost. Was it your mistake, or did they abandon you? No, you must have taken a wrong turn. You say to yourself. You consult Sisyphus's projection, the one that Kanya gave to you. It tells your path is just northwest. Head that way and you should regroup with your caravan. You press forward. You are a doctor. Moving forward, a glint of metal catches your eye. It's fixating. It broadcasts to you. It says, Pursuant, you are a doctor. What do you do?
Oh, good question. So it's like this piece of metal in the ground.
Yeah, so you see, it almost looks like it's a decayed or buried subaltern that's face and maybe like its arm are kind of hanging out. And it looks to be a piece of the machine, but this subaltern somehow is unable to get out. But it's definitely up and running. It's calling to you.
Does it verbally, like audibly say what it said, or is that more in my head kind of thing?
It is entirely in your head, but I don't know if you can tell the difference.
Yeah, we'll head over to it and sort of pull their pistol, but like crouch near it and sort of like look it over.
Cool. You pull out your pistol. You crouch near this.
Phone call. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right. We'll pause. Phone call. Kill the session. Oh!
We never heard from Gear again. 14 years and 3 days to the
The
month.
phone, the voice in the phone sucked their body into the telecommunication network.
Man, I love that.
Radio killed the radio star.
Man, I love that Doctor Who episode.
Oh yeah, dude, I heard that song "Video Kill the Radio Star" from Vice City, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, same.
Taught me so much about 80s music. Yeah, let's just wait on Gear.
I never played GTA.
What?
You're probably better off.
I've never owned or sat down with a GTA game for any like considerable amount of time.
GTA was a whole mood. Such a good game.
Mom, let me play
Vice
it.
City.
I am so
Vice
sorry.
City.
Very good.
Are you good?
Gosh, yes. So, crouching
Oh yeah,
to look at Robert.
Yes. The subaltern. It is. You see its shimmering face. It looks something. I'll just say it because it's in my head right now. It looks something as like a broke ass Ultron face. So I don't know why it's in my head, but anyways, yeah, it looks something as a decrepit subaltern, and it is definitely. It's speaking, but you're not hearing it with your ears. You're hearing it much as you. This is a new type of hearing for you, and I think it's mainly because of the medley that Legion and Kanya and the Egregorian Endeavor puts you through. This is a new type of experience for you, and it's talking to you.
Okay. Is it similar in like sensation to how Endeavor communicated, or is it different?
It's not. It's not similar to that at all. This is you. You're not experiencing any emotion with this. You're experiencing like an attempt to communicate using words or any kind of language.
So at this point, I've definitely like realized that it's not an audible thing. It literally is in my head.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Does it feel natural to Gear at this point?
It feels very natural to you.
Okay, so they won't be concerned. Oh no. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's saying that just what I've been saying in my own head, that I'm a doctor and all that.
It says that, and then it follows with, "Why do you fight?"
Well, they don't audibly say it, but like in their head, they're like, well, because I am a doctor and there are people that need help. Sort of thing. That's the sort of idea behind it.
Mm-hmm. But Union's mission is our mission. Do you not share it?
Okay, so is Gear still Gear enough to the point where they still have their very intense feelings about the different Union that is here versus like what they know?
Yeah, I think in this circumstance, it would be the difference from disliking someone that you're not familiarly related to and disliking someone you have a familiar connection to.
Okay, so I'm more familiar with bad Union, but I still think they're bad.
Yes.
Okay. At that point, Gear's going to stand back up, and in their head, they're just thinking along the lines of, well, that's not correct. And then they'll just blammer the robot.
Okay. We get a scene as you stand up, looking kind of, looking at the robot, the subaltern, dejected, like coming to probably stealing your resolve, pulling your pistol, and blasting the subaltern. You hear its last words echo in your head. You're a doctor. You are Union. Why do you fight? we share the same goal.
Here's like for the people that they were helping, like they're stranded with, I guess. They'd definitely be able to notice that they're sort of distracted and thinking.
Oh,
pretty
you're
hard.
lost out in the caves. No one's around you.
Oh, I thought I was attending
No,
to some people, and then we
You
all
got-
got lost together.
No, you got lost individually.
Oh, I'm super lost. Okay, Brad,
Yeah,
I'm
I
out
should-
here. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm alone. All right.
I'm so
Well-
glad we get to share our freaking Jedi dark side visions.
So
Yeah,
it's-
Gear will just sort of follow the path that Sisyphus had made.
cool.
And
You could.
yeah.
Cool. You continue to follow the path that Sisyphus is leading you out to. It's there's no error in Sisyphus's projection. Maybe there's a few paths that it redirects you on, assuming that there are supposed or potential deposits of loose subalterns of the machine or loose caverns and such. But eventually, it will lead you back to the caravan. But before it does, let's go back over to Kanya. You figured out what you want to say.
He sort of stops
Okay.
for a minute. He sort of rolls through what he's heard, gives a humorless smirk and says, "I'm a bad MP." And he continues to follow Sisyphus's projections.
Cool. You continue to follow Sisyphus' projections. Again, they produce a kaleidoscope of paths. Each one you've traveled already. It's almost as if you and Sisyphus are thinking one in the same. You may think it is Sisyphus's path, but it's most likely your path, and your NHP is taking your lead. Eventually, you will hear the sounds of the caravan, calls for your name. When we transition over to Kaiser and Q. Kaiser and Q, you two are together. Presumably looking for, like, just not realizing it's your compatriots have drawn off or straight off or whatever. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're on mute. Q, you're on mute, you dork.
Q is
Wow,
asleep.
brutal.
He's just set Shaka to basically manage things for him. And so Shaka kind of going through the kind of a ingrained Shaka in HP that lives in all Infakane mechs is more or less going through its subroutines when it notices that it hasn't checked in, when it notices that it hasn't had a check-in with the rest of the party. So it's gone and found Kaiser, and it is Shaka who is now currently trying to figure out where Kanya and Gear are. Q is absolutely just passed out inside.
Ooh. Well, Kaiser, you get the visage of Q's Chetsuayo walking up towards you, some 9 or so feet tall. It's walking in an organic path. It's more like a gait, I guess. It's more cautious, making sure not to hurt the pilot inside with any erratic movements. And you get a readout from the NHP Shaka. It's a docile version, and it just asked if you had seen your compatriots, Gear and Kanya.
How is the hip sway of this is wild?
Oh my
it's perfect.
god.
Perfect. You know that.
Perfect.
Okay, everything's good.
All is right below.
Well, he's going to look around and notice that everyone is gone, in a sense, and he is going to take his fancy little data plate on his arms and just message this wild to follow him and get his Enkidu to also follow him on autopilot as he ventures out, and tells one of the probably the next in line map person to that they're heading out and they're gonna leave bread trails. And by bread trails, he means he's gonna like put on a tracking device, throw them on the ground. He has plenty of them. They're meant for people, but they also work on the ground.
Cool. You hear Egregorian call out, as you say to one of the HUC, and you hear Egregorian relay your message further up the line. They say, "Tread carefully. Our advisors are going off on a mission. Be careful. We will not have backup." And then they nod at you and keep on as the sound of trucks kind of are trudging through these tunnels, and maybe it's echoing a little bit, but you see your caravan at 15,000 keep on going.
Well, I see that I'm doing a good job in being discreet. Otherwise, they would know that I wouldn't need backup. Although it's nice to have someone to talk to. Isn't that right? I don't think you're sentient.
Who are you talking to?
The Seshwile.
Oh yeah, this is a very docile version of Shaka, and it just asks you, where do we go next?
Yep, just follow me and, standard combat protocols.
Cool.
And if you can't really tell which ones are there or not when it comes to Shaka, please don't go on a warpath.
It advises you and reassures you that it's going to act well under the parameters of the pilot.
Well, I guess if it starts running off, then I think they found the boyfriend.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't
keep
know.
going.
You don't know what Kui set as parameters. It's set to warpath. I'm sorry.
See boyfriend going warpath.
I impact sexual violence.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kaiser, you and Q are gonna head off and look for Gear and Kanya.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Give me a check as you walk off with your Enkidu behind you and Q inside the Chetswayo. This is a spot or investigate will work. Consequences if you don't succeed is you might end up lost yourself.
This is where the campaign ends. Everyone gets
Into the Jedi caves.
Let's
Yo, I can't wait to
see.
find our fucking Kadarin crystals.
Fuck,
I'm assuming it's just not Kanya, sorry, Kaiser making the roll, right?
Yes, I think Kaiser, yeah.
Just making sure.
I don't have anything, so I will make a regular roll. So
Regular
subtract 2 from this.
Oh, Rip City. I don't feel good about this. Woo! Yeah, you, fortunately, discover that Sisyphus has been indicating the location of Kanya and Gear the whole time. It's projections on everywhere it could possibly, Gear could possibly go and Kanya could possibly go, but it gives you a projection of the most probable route that they have wandered off to from its, projection and such. The Chetswayo and the docile Shaka consults you and says, "Where should we go?" You know the exact place to go to find them both.
Gonna go to Greer first.
Cool. You head down incline, kind of sliding down a little bit. The Chetswayo is just smoothly moving down. And you're some maybe 100 or so feet off the main caravan, off the main route to Mycall Fields, when eventually you hear the sounds of someone talking to themselves down this cavern. You hear the sounds of footsteps as well. Looking around you, you see the signs of husk worm or hive worm molts or something like that. But yeah, something is deep down in this, not deep, but just beyond your gaze, talking to themselves.
Yep. Kaiser is going to tell the Siswile to stand back, as he's gonna do his classic stealth suit into stealth
Cool.
and get closer until
Cool.
he could actually see what's going on.
Cool. Gear, give me a roll. If you had spot, give me a spot roll.
Uh-huh. Okie dokie.
And also roll me a d20 when you roll this.
Oh yeah, my cursed d20s. Can't forget about my cursed d20s. I'll do the d20. It's a d12. Shoop. D20.
Oh, you're good. All right. Spot. Yeah, if you have
Nothing
that,
funky.
or you don't have spot, then
Sounds
this
so
is a spot roll.
The closest to spot I got is investigate, or maybe
Nah,
survive.
Just roll it flat.
So flat d20, not a grit roll.
Nope, no grit roll.
2. I'm blind.
6. Kaiser, you approach and you see the visage of your compatriot, call sign Scalpel, Gear, and they are tapping on their head, talking to themselves, patting themselves, looking at their hands, and questioning, or asking themselves, or telling themselves, "I am a doctor. You are a doctor," and repeating the line, "Union is here. I am Union. I am a doctor," and they keep doing that, and they don't take notice of you. What do you do?
Got a bit loopy, haven't I?
Oh, this will be fun. I think Kaiser is going to use his info skin and proto scholar to take on the visage of Scalpel,
Why would you do that?
and then unveil himself from the shadows, and in Scalpel's voice with the slight Kaiser accent, so the audience knows. He comes out from the shadows in front of Scalpel and says, "Is that really all you are? Doctor? A medic? Someone under Union? Nothing more, nothing less?"
Considering I'm all loopy, are you running this bit, or am I?
No. It's all you. It's all you. It's all you.
Um. Well, that's what I think I am at the moment, at least.
Well, at the moment, you're not fixing anyone. You're not keeping anyone alive. What are you at this moment? You're not a doctor.
Well, quite frankly, I think I'm lost.
In more ways than one, I would assume.
They just kind of, the eyes sort of dart down and then back up, sort of oof, sort of a reaction, but they don't say anything.
Don't worry. All you need is a helping hand. And I'm here to offer mine. And he's gonna slowly transform back into what you know as Kaiser and offer his hand.
Jesus Christ. I think Scalpel's seen shit like this before. I think from Kaiser even.
Yeah.
Or is this completely new to them?
No, I've done it before.
Yeah,
Kaiser
I've
definitely
impersonated.
before. Yeah.
Impersonated before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah,
second-
when we
second
fucking
first mission,
pulled
yeah.
up on them. Yeah. Okay. They'll sort of eyes sort of narrow. You would expect them to go wide, but no, they narrow. It's like neat trick.
I was hoping you would reveal something fun or embarrassing, but no. It's just something I like to do. Gotta keep yourself entertained somehow.
Kaiser,
see.
you notice one thing about gear. In their left hand, they have a head of a subaltern, clutched. They've been clutching it pretty tightly. They're obviously not aware of it.
So, who's your friend that you've been talking to? And he points towards the head of subaltern.
They'll look down, they'll just be like, huh? And drop it.
It drops and falls deeper down the cavern. No splash or splunk, just continues to fall down this cavern.
I'm very confused. Were my mech not destroyed, I would be going into my station.
You all hear
Fair
one
enough.
thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's good.
You all hear one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Well, this is all new to me. I think I'm gonna blame Kanye for this.
Wait,
as he's-
was Gear aware that they did the spooky space magics on them?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I can't it's been a while, so
There you go.
yeah, they'll sort of look at Kaiser and be like, I suppose so, but it's better than being inoperable.
Whatever Kanye did to you, I really don't care about. I don't ask Kanye what happened to them. Anyways, this is why I always here, and Quay is inside and taking a nice nap. I'm sure it's strong enough to piggyback you if you need it. We need to find Kanye. We've somehow lost the navigator of our caravan.
That's not entirely a good thing.
No, but I'm quite impressed by whoever was following Kanye, that they managed to lose the leader.
Yes. I'm sure he's trying his best. That is very snarky.
Anyways, I'm sure it's time for Sisyphus to show us where Kanye is. And, yeah.
Cool.
Lucifer, I could ask you to stay quiet because I am sure that Kanye's not fighting or going on a war.
Yeah. Gear, you probably didn't notice that Kaiser's mech was there as well, but as he speaks to his mech, you see this menacing size 2 thing taking up this whole cavern. Its eyes glow and has like an aura around it, and you see the mech visibly nod. And you all head off to go find El Kanya. But as you consult the projection, Sisyphus projection, there are, for a second, you saw, no, definitely. You see that there are 2 signals by Kanya. 2 signals that one is familiar enough, and then it blips out. And then you know where Kanya's at, but maybe there's someone by them.
So, did you see that as well?
I slightly zoned out. Which would be fitting for my character right now, so
That is
maybe I
very
run
true.
with it.
Okay. Maybe you need a doctor for yourself at some point, but I only know how to take myself apart. Let's see. There was a blip right around here. I think that was Kanya. That could have been someone else. Could have been both. So keep an eye out as best you can.
Yes, right. Apologies. Yes. Right. They pull their pistol. I'm ready. But have the safety on, because
Cool.
they're not a total idiot.
Cool. So you activate your safety on your pistol. You start to head off following the Enkidu and Chetzwile and Q and Kaiser. You think for a moment, I definitely shot that subaltern in the dome. I definitely shot that subaltern in the dome. You say again to yourself, not audibly, I am a doctor. And you all charge off to go find your compatriot Dawnfall. Q, what are you doing? You remind me, by the way. Q's dead. Q, you die! Bastard.
Did they forget to turn on the AC? It's sealed tight.
Oh God.
Yeah, they suffocated in Chetzwile.
What?
All right, Q. You lost
Program
your
the mech
chance.
to do everything except life support.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So, you probably actually let's do this. You all, as you're walking and heading up and following directions of where Kanya may be, you all hear from Chetzwile in the voice of Shaka that Q is not responding to its beckons, its attempts to awake Q. They're still alive and stable, but they seem unconscious.
Sorry, my brain is very out of it in real life right now. Sorry. Who was unconscious?
So Q is unconscious in Chetzwile, and Shaka was telling you that they're not responding to their attempts to jolt them awake.
Okay, well then, being that this is kind of my thing, I will, yes, sorry, I'm very spacey today. Not surgery tomorrow, actually. But yes, Gear will, once understanding that Titipe is not responsive, is going to open up the mech and sort of try and gently bring them out of it, out of the mech, so that they can examine his body.
I imagine that.
Hold on. You see the faceplate kind of pop up, and you see that Q is sweating and breathing excessively, almost like someone is hyperventilating. Exhaustion. Go ahead, Q.
All right, cool beans. Yeah, I was gonna say, due to kind of like the personalizations of Q's mech, it opens up in a variety of different ways, and the kind of a gentler version of Shaka that is on the set tries to open it up gently enough so that Q doesn't just flat out fall straight out of it. But it's one of those things where he looks more gaunt than usual, and there are just dark bags under his eyes, very heavy. And as Shaka mentioned, he doesn't feel hot, but he is sweating, and even in his sleep he is shaking, and his breathing is ragged, and it's almost to the point that, like, not as extreme as this, since it's not been the same amount of time to pass, but it's one of those things where looking at Q before and then looking at Q now is like looking at Obama in 2009 and then Obama in 2017.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Like his hair is graying. It's just, he looks rough.
Okay. Well, in that case, basically the same plan. Gear is going to lay Kitape down in a somewhat comfortable and what is it, the recovery position, I think?
Yeah.
I'm not actually a medic in real life. It's
Lies, you're a medic. Lies, you're a medic.
In real life.
You'll never convince me otherwise.
You've played a doctor in an RPG. Now you are a qualified medic.
Of course, yes. I know everything. But yes, they'll lay them in the recovery position, and do a small scan of like their body and see what specific problems there are. I'm going to go out on a limb though and say they're very dehydrated as one, so they're going to I imagine in Lancer there's probably like an injectable electrolyte booster that functions very quickly because that sounds cool in space age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So jabby.
Yeah.
And with the scans results, probably just do all the things that one would need to for someone suffering from severe exhaustion and probably some heat stroke at this point.
Cool.
You did
Garrett, bring like lights.
There's a whole nother.
It's got electric lights.
I love how there's a
Yeah, it's definitely a situation where I imagine any scanners you have,
Damn it.
like they are able to come to a conclusion about what's wrong very quickly. It's like lack of sleep, dehydration, hasn't eaten in God knows how long, probably since we left.
Yeah.
It's all of it. It's all of it.
Q, after Shaka's inside your Chitswile, though a docile version.
Yeah.
After seeing you in such a ragged state, needing such, not really needing, but pushing yourself to the point where you're incapable of even passively being piloted by a CompCon, the Shaka in your Chitswile will activate for probably the first time that you've really seen it kind of come to its senses, and the Shaka you've known since you were young. It says, "You strain yourself too much, Q. Do not step inside this Chitswile again until you feel better. I will not allow it."
At just kind of like as the Shaka, Q still half conscious. You can just kind of hear him mumbling like, "No, gotta keep moving. Gotta check in the back." It's just delirium.
Cool. Well, as I assume you eventually will kind of get to the point where you can kind of come to, stand up, and walk on your own, your
Yeah.
Chitswile will not allow you inside until you feel up and at it.
Yeah, then in that case, it's Q is just kind of forced to walk. Walk
So-
or be carried or limp or something. But it's very obvious. It's very obvious that even when he is back to full consciousness, he is not doing well. He's up. He's fully conscious, but he is not fully there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, though some of you are experiencing some visions, others are experiencing exhaustion, some of you are just perfectly okay and still pulling tricks on your friends, you know that your last compatriot is somewhere in these caverns. Well, you know where they're at. You just need to go to them.
Okay.
So-
Search for the person. We know exactly where they are.
You make your way towards Kanya. Traveling up this diagonal cavern that you were on, up to the main route that leads to Mycall Fields, and then back down another offshoot of a route. Looks like the caravan is progressing quite smoothly. No other breaks in its progression and such, and you probably get a hey at or a wave at by some of the Hysterians and such. And yeah, as you double back down and head towards Kanya's location, you hear them talking to someone, a familiar voice. I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, I thought you meant like a familiar voice, as in there was someone else there.
Yeah, there's someone else there.
Oh,
What is the voice saying?
or sound.
It sounds
It's
like
familiar. Who is it?
sounds like Nasimba.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He says,
A familiar voice.
Yeah.
Dot.
I think my brain just
Refuses
stopped
to
trying-
elaborate.
I think my brain stopped, honestly.
Everything's
That
working.
Just
Yeah,
buffering.
yeah, I think my brain like just stopped. All right. Anyways, Gadia, yeah, Nosimbo has found you, and she's saying to you, Ganya, I was at the back of the line when I heard voices off the path. Why do you find yourself here? Where have you led yourself? You must regroup with Kaiser, Biku, and Scalpel.
Don't worry. They're already here.
They are.
Looks behind him.
Yeah, you look back, Nishima looks back and sees the rest of you
our
and
brains
says,
are now connected, aren't they?
Hmm.
3 at-bats in the party with power.
Cool. Well, Nitsimba looks back and sees that the rest have arrived. She probably looks at Q a little, like, concerned as to why they're outside the Chetzwile and why they're, like, just kind of looks like they're kind of coming
Fucked
to.
up.
Yeah.
Q immediately like is standing there tall, and then he immediately like turns around and throws up.
Gear will be, patting him on the back. Like, okay.
Nice. The shotgun inside the Chetzwile, which is now activated, just calls out and says, "Disgraceful." No
Styled
Simba.
on by Shaka. Damn.
I am here
No
for
Simba.
Tiger Mom Shaka.
Nosimbo says, looking at you four and hearing the sounds of the caravan, just not too far away, but definitely continuing to make their path to Michael Field, and says, "Well, the 5 of us together. We haven't had a moment like this since I feel we arrived here on Arsinia. While I think we definitely need to be on the move, I would like to take this moment to check in with all of you all. It seems that the effect of Hysteria wear down on all of us in different ways."
That
Q
would be
just kind of
accurate.
Q just like shakes his head and pushes the hair out of his face and says, "No, I'm fine. I can continue." Just like turning to the Chetzwile, "Let me in! Let me in!"
Oh my god.
I'm not even a medic, and I can tell that your pupils are dilated, and for some reason your hair is turning gray.
It's fine. A little longer.
I'm not fine. You need to take a rest.
Meanwhile, I am perfectly fine, and
Kaiser's all okay.
Guys
just
is
insane.
living life.
Kaiser just has on his mech just like fucking burned in there, live, laugh, love. The
Nosimbo
true
says-
marks of someone insane.
Yeah, Nosimbo says to you all, "Well, it seems that you all are coming too. But I wanted to check with you all. What I wanted to talk about was, 1, checking if you're okay, and 2, more importantly, we arrive at Michael Fields in but 2 weeks' time. When we get there, Praetor Hardel is dead, the leader gone. The Thal is with the caravan. She will be acting as the new administrator of Michael Fields, and you all will be seen as trusted advisors. What we encounter next, what we do next, will mean much for the livelihood of the HUC, and I wanted to ensure that you all were resolute in your decision-making and clear of mind."
There is a moment of where Kanya is just like clear of mind, looks over at Nosimbo, sees the patterns swirling in the features of her face. Yeah, I don't know about that last one.
any case, I don't know exactly what decision making we've got going on right now, as all of our plans were somewhat destroyed.
Yosimbo says, I have heard a whisper from the Thal herself that Michael Fields, the one intact city of the HUC, plans a counterattack, but that is just rumor. I hear we will have more briefing once we reach there. That counterattack, I believe, will be pivotal. Your expertise in battle and in advice will be most essential.
We still need to take that printer back. One way or another, we can't leave that in the hands of the machine.
The machine is a bit too dangerous when it has effectively infinite forces.
But
Q, do you say anything?
Q probably just nodding, like, yeah, but
Nodding as they almost fall asleep.
no, not nodding asleep, just actually nodding. There's not a lot to add to that. Like, yeah,
Cool. Yosimbo says, yes, we know of what could be quite critical, a target in Evergreen. Though we don't know the complete situation, my reckoning is that once we exit these caverns, we will know much more. In reaching Michael Fields, I'm sure the HUC rangers there will have much to tell us of the situation in Evergreen. What is important now is that I know you all are okay. And once I know that Nfakane can carry out the mission here on Icenia.
perhaps. But we need to keep moving. There's a reason we're off to the side. I don't think it's one that we planned. We should keep moving.
Yosimbo looks at the rest of you.
Is pretty much already starting walking.
yeah.
They're a little funky now, and they don't see the need for as many words as they used to.
Why is Gear funky?
Because their brain got scrambled like robotic eggs.
Plus, they haven't showered in like God knows how long.
Well, we don't talk about that.
I was thinking about that, and I don't remember when you all took a rest, like when the day actually ended. I think it ended after you did the Hivehome mission. So yeah, but it's been a long day. But yeah, so as you all start to head off, Yosimbo says, well then, back on the path. But you probably know Yosimbo well enough to know that when she says something that she's unsure about, and she doesn't get the sense from you all, from your responses, that you all are tip-top shape, which is probably pretty obvious. But anyway, she reaches behind the Chetzwile and does some weird stuff with the spinal cord of this Chetzwile, and it opens back up and allows Q to get back in. She says to Q, I know you're gone, but she says to Q, next time, don't tell Shaka how you're doing. Lie to him. Lie to it. It is very gullible. And then you all regroup with the caravan as you press on forward. And you see some other Hysenian rangers and others who like kind of greet you all. Look like everyone's in well sorts. You probably hear the voice of Dethal Ordo off over the kind of radio signs and signals of the caravan, and he's probably giving some encouragement lessons, no, not lessons, but speeches to all those traveling along. Something along the lines of, "We've lost too many people. We can still press on. Home is now Michael Fields. We'll be together soon." Yeah, I think what's ahead of you all is a 2-ish week journey to Michael Fields. You'll arrive outside of these caverns after a week. What do you all do for that week to 2 week-ish time span before you arrive at Michael Fields?
Aha, yes.
Get downtime actions, or are we just doing things as we move?
Didn't we already do downtime actions last time? Maybe we did do it.
I know we did like stuff for the convoy.
Oh, for the convoy. Yeah, let's do some downtime actions. I don't think we did it we didn't do any reserves or anything. Yeah, let's do some downtime actions.
Kanye start fiddling around with some stuff, with just extra stuff that he has, and he's gonna get creative.
Cool. Getting creative using what? Does getting creative require a trigger? I don't think it does.
It does. I think if the DM chooses it to.
What are you trying to do?
I was hoping to eventually create and essentially build a small-scale power core.
Oh, for a mech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff he has at his disposal.
Yeah, I think the Rangers brought a lot of things in this pathfinding party. And you all have a lot of, looks like your convoy resource clock is pretty high. So if you want to tick that down to spend some supplies to construct a core battery, you definitely can.
Yep. Yeah, okay, I do have to roll. 9 or less, I don't make any progress. 10 through 19, I make progress, but not finish it. 20 plus, I finish it.
Cool. I'll change that and say 9 or less, you can spend another convoy resource to automatically succeed.
Okay. So, player sheet. Where did I do with my player sheet? There we go. Do you want hacker fix or inventor create?
Inventor create.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
24.
Shit out of there.
Yeah, I would say at this point, your inventing or creating is quite resourceful, in the sense that you don't even expend any convoy resources in doing this. You probably find some. You all got lost, right? And you probably saw a lot of things out in these buried caverns, right? Like this ancient history of the Egregorians. You probably find the tools you need, probably rusted and dirty, but over the course of these, 2-ish weeks, you are able to clean these tools and these resources, combine them with a moderate amount of resources from the convoy, and eventually construct a core battery in the back of one of these convoy trucks.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Who's next?
I guess I'll get focused to try and sort out a bit of my headspace and I guess somewhat self-therapize, because they definitely don't trust anyone here well enough to therapy with them, so they're on their own.
Where do you think you're therapizing?
In the back of a truck, probably, because they don't have a mech to sit in.
Cool. Garrett, you find yourself in the back of a Hycerian truck. It's been made into a makeshift quarters for you. It's probably got very few affixed and probably probably looks like it was a the quarters that probably kept some injured Hyserians, and so you probably see a kind of a bin of like bloody bandages and stuff. But it's made well enough for you. It's luxury at this point. You hear a knock at the edge of the door, outside the door.
Yes.
May I come in? Gear.
Who is it?
It's Nasimba.
Oh, I didn't hear. Yeah. Yes. If you, what do you need? They'll open the door for Nasimba.
Nasimba opens the door and she sees you in this kind of, this little makeshift home of yours, and it's kind of like the truck is still moving and she's probably just hanging off the edge as she's like kind of, I'm pretty close to you face to face almost. She says, quite rocky out here. I just wanted to speak with you personally.
Yes, of course. Come in if you would like.
I'm not intruding, am I?
No, of course not.
All right. You can tell me to leave. I don't have to stay.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
She has her Ukuwa and a Shalangu with her, but she sets it on the floor, somewhere to the side, and sits down in like an integrated, built-in like bench, and she sits down across from you, or something like that, and she kind of rubs her wrist a little bit and looks up at you and says,
Gear, I realized I haven't had a moment to talk with you myself. I wanted to check in with you. You've been working for us in Fakane for a moment now, and I wanted to get a pulse check. Pun intended.
This is the most awkward thing I've experienced in this game. Yeah, we'll nod and go. Yes, of course. Well, I do have my disagreements with of my patriots. However, I am hired to do a job, and I shall do that job.
What is that job, Gear? Tell me, in your interpretation, what was that job and what is that job?
Well, the answer to both is to assist Mfakane elements in the field, particularly when it regards medical assistance. They look sort of awkwardly, like sort of side on to Nasimba. It's like, you know this shit.
Nasimbo nods, and that was, get the sense that wasn't the answer she thought she was going to get from you. And she says, kind of leaning back a little bit, she says,
Yeah, you can be honest with me. Like I said, we haven't had much time to talk one-on-one. But I feel, in the face of our near demise at the end of the machine, I feel it's important to remember the stories we tell each other and the ones we craft together. And I need to know your story, the truest one.
You ask... to be clear, what are you asking?
I'm asking you for a retelling of what has happened thus far in Icenia, in your opinion, and where that story should go. What should be your next deeds?
Well, you've probably understood that I'm not one for flowery retellings, although I do understand and respect that the Mfakane do enjoy that. But yes, we've had a rocky start initially, with very complicated politics, which, due to my own beliefs, I have to take a back seat in, which is perfectly fine. And however, that whole situation went quite poorly, as the machine is quite powerful, and put a bit of a wrench in all of the goals we had. I suppose that's the simple retelling.
And what will you do about this machine, Scalpel?
That's a complicated question. We'll have to restock on supplies, which I don't know how that will go. We do have our Umfikane ally from the ship coming down with a printer that can definitely even the odds. However, I'm not sure how well we'll do. Our resources, and particularly manpower, are very low, so I'm not sure if we can really take the machine on, so to speak. But we'll try. Nothing else for it.
Nasimbo nods and says, "We will try. Our people power is much stronger than the machine can ever hope to guess at. I have sent Psalm to go find Bongwani, the impi of the Loins Order in Dulinji. They will bring them back. We will be stronger. And I need you to know that as well. You will come out of this alive, and I will tell your story, the story of Gear, Scalpel, the medic, the doctor. Back to Minnie and Fakane Juniors, back on Nkulu Nkulu. It's been a pleasure knowing you, Scalpel."
Yes, of course. They have a very, at the moment that Miss Simbo says about the whole people power will overwhelm the robot. They're very like they accidentally like let their sort of face relax into a bitchy for real kind of look. It's like they are not at all on board with the idea that they have a fighting chance with just people power alone.
Interesting.
But it's only momentarily relaxed into that.
Cool. Nasimbo, you think Nasimbo would catch wind of that?
If they're paying attention to the
Yeah, she definitely would.
to
She definitely would.
Gear's
Yeah.
face. Okay.
Definitely would, yeah. You guys get you two get like a bump in the road, doosh, as both of you kind of, your butts kind of go up in the air a little bit, and Nasima kind of knocks her head against the edge of the wall and says, gosh, I need to get out of these caves. She stands up, kind of holding a handhold, and opens her arms towards you for a hug.
Gear's not a huggy person. Gear's kind of looking at them and sort of to deflect from the whole hug thing. He's like, "Oh, do you need me to look at your head? It seemed like a pretty nasty knock. You might have."
Oh, yeah, yes. Nasima gets awkward and says, "Yes, it's all right. I should probably go."
Right. Yes. Stay safe. If you need any medical assistance, I am always here.
She picks up her Ukuwa and leaves her Ishilangu behind, and looks back at you and says, "Should you ever need something to defend you, I will be always there to defend you, as will your compatriots." And she hops off the moving truck.
Because I have the memory of a fish, the Ishilangu,
The shield, it's a pilot gear shield.
The little shield. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
does some cool things.
Yeah.
Cool beans. So yeah, give me a roll to self-therapize.
Sure. Okay, because my CompCon is broken, I can't update my my pilot sheet, which is a little annoying.
Manually.
Does anyone remember what I added my points into for triggers? I think it was survive.
You've got you're at license level 3 right now on your pilot sheet on Foundry.
Yeah, because my CompCon broke and I didn't get around to fixing it.
You can just decide what you want to do right now.
Well, I would. I was just because it's outdated now. As for like actually doing the self-therapizing, I don't know if patch would exactly apply to self-therapy.
You've done
It's
this
like-
before. You've done this before. I feel like you've used patch in this way before.
I've done it for other people because the thing when you self therapize, it is not objective, and the whole thing behind therapy is that it's meant to be objective.
Okay.
So I'm not sure it would
Survive.
exactly.
Did
Yeah,
you say
we're
let's get
surviving mental
focused?
illness.
Yeah, survive. Let's
What
survive.
was that, sorry, Kaiser?
Did you say you were trying to get focused? Was there
yeah, get-
time action?
Oh yeah, you don't need a roll for get focus. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, don't you?
Nope.
No, you don't need a roll. Yeah.
Just happens.
Oh, improve a trigger from
Yeah.
+2 +4. Oh, so I get +2 on thing.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I guess I'll pop a +2 onto I can't go 6 to 4, can I?
What do you mean? You can.
I've
bring
got patch
stuff
at
down.
+6. Guess I
You can-
bring it to
Oh, you
+4.
can't. You can't go to 8.
To,
Yeah, you can't
8.
go to 8.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't
Sorry,
go to 8.
my brain bad. I guess I'll put it onto stay cool.
Cool.
Where my stay cool is at?
2.
Stay cool at +4.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I will
Cool.
try and
Yeah.
get on fucking working.
You're good. Yeah, I think you spend this time coming to terms with the new gear. The gear that is a medley of Witness, a medley of the broadcast, and a medley of yourself.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I think. Kaiser would spend time doing what he did, sort of in Evergreen, but with a more militaristic purpose. He's gonna get organized.
Ooh, another organization.
Another organization for Kaiser, for the HUC.
Nice.
And this time it is not subtle at all, as he's going to teach, find like the best and smartest of the Rangers and essentially teach them how to be better, like skirmishers, hit and run, sneaky sorts.
Interesting.
And he's gonna organize them according to how he's been trained in the Spec Ops.
What would that be?
For the first one, it just happens. But for every downtime after this, which is, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, anything related to military in the HUC gets a +2 bonus.
Nice.
At least the
Cool. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you spend time organizing some of the HUCians that are the Rangers that are here, helping you all escort these some 15,000 people. I don't know if I ever told you all, but you do have some HUC mechs that are accompanying you. You have 10 Hivehome mechs. You have Archer, you have a mix between Archers and assault patterns, and some squads as well that are accompanying you all. They basically represent your colony defense clock. But you, you spend your time kind of instructing them, and they probably know a lot about guerrilla fighting and skirmishing here on Hycenia, but maybe not a lot about the New Age, Third Com, SSC doctrines for engagement. So spend your time doing that. Sounds good. Anything else?
No. Otherwise, Kaiser's gonna leave there in Kidu on autopilot, go to the nearest scrapyard, and then Kidu's gonna like improve itself with the scraps. Like it'll tear off an arm and like perform like self-surgery, kind of in the way that Kaiser does, but more brutal.
Just cosmetic though, right?
Oh, is this not where we level up our mechs to LL4?
Well, you don't have a printer to print off new stuff, so you can look different, but you don't have.
Yeah,
Prepare,
let's just say this is like minor upgrades, like preparing.
Dope. Sounds good. Yeah. probably get a scene of your Enkidu stripping off armor plating and leaving it along the trail and such. Q, what you got? Oh, downtime actions are on page 53? I don't know.
I know you can find it in CompCom. I just can't remember where.
Yeah.
Action economy and Kanto.
Action economy.
Yep.
Okay.
Right at the bottom.
There are the
Yeah,
Infocane
yeah.
downtime actions too. I forget what those are though.
Yeah, there we go. I know that. Yeah, there's Infocani ones too. I know you have it pinned somewhere.
Johnny,
Yeah,
you
you
should
have
find
it
a way
pinned in
for
one of
the.
the wallflowers.
You should find a way for the JSON file for the field guide to add those.
Oh, I have it. I do have it. Yeah, I do have it in. I do have it in CompCon. I forgot. They're in CompCon for. Oh no! Wait! No, they're not. I didn't put those in
Yeah.
CompCon. Yeah, I should find that out.
I don't know. I don't know what would be super applicable to him. I guess the most applicable in terms of because he needs to do it is get a damn drink.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But the issue is that like its phrasing is like blow off steam and generally get into trouble. He's not trying to get into trouble, but like he needs to not be as stressed as he is right now.
It doesn't have to be trouble. You can do some other things.
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine he'd try to get a damn drink.
Cool.
There's the hippie
You-
van.
Yeah. You go to the hippie van. You probably catch wind of. Let's say this. Dethal has been leading and helping getting the Hysterians here over to Michael Fields, and mainly what she's been doing is communicating through radio chatter back with her father Ilar and Terror back in Hivehome, and with the officials and attaches in Michael Fields, making sure that giving updates of the status of the caravan, but also making sure that things are in order for the next play. You see her kind of pop out of her truck as it's kind of moving slowly, or maybe it stopped for a moment, so for everyone to rest and such. And you see her pop out, and she looks like she hasn't really taken a rest in many days, like you were some just short while ago. She sees you and says, Q. That was your name, right? I don't think we had many times to talk.
Yes, the doll, correct?
Dethal Order, yes.
I apologize. I don't think my wits are about me.
Well,
And I have
I've got something, and she shakes her hand, and you see a bottle of liqueur. I've got something that could bring you back to your senses. Care for a drink?
I think I will take you up on that. Yes.
She stretches out her hand to kind of pull you into her the truck with her.
Q graciously accepts. Since he probably would, since considering how tall the truck is, he probably would have struggled trying to get in himself.
Cool. She pulls you in. She does not have any of her affects on her, any of her egregorian carapace or anything. It's just her in kind of draped clothing, still a little muddied. Definitely not looking like she's well put together. And
Yeah.
she pours you a drink. And she pours herself a drink and passes it over to you and says it is called a mud rudder. Very, very a mix between an old egregorian drink and a new age Hercynian drink from way back long ago.
He accepts it and probably downs it without much thought. Probably barely even taste it, to be honest.
Yeah, your stomach feels like inferno.
It's probably not the best thing to put on your stomach.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten. And Q's stomach probably like grumbles. It's like, apologies. I don't think I've stopped to eat in some time.
Oh, I have something here. And she kind of pulls something out of her satchel, and looks to be some fried or roasted or preserved vegetables.
Vegetables?
Your
Vegetables.
vegetables. Pass it your way.
Broccoli, celery. Yes. Q picks at it a little bit, but after like getting more comfortable, he's kind of greedily like ripping off bits and pieces.
She pours you another drink, passes it to you, and says, "We make way for Michael Fields. I worry, Q. Those in charge in Michael Fields are quite distraught over the death of Praetor Hidel. I feel like on top of whatever we have to figure out to do next, I have to deal with these folks in Michael Fields who are arguing over who should lead and who should follow. It's not something I need right now."
Q nods his head and he says, I understand exactly. Leadership, eh? And he kind of raises a cup. Almost in like a mock toast of their similar situation that the two of them are both in.
Yeah, she responds back to you with what you said and does the same thing.
I've a personal request to ask you. Though I am not expecting good news, tell me, have you seen Psalm at all?
Psalm, yes, the pilot of the Strider, Venom, as some of the Rangers call them.
Q nods his head. It's kind of obvious that he's like bracing himself for potentially not great news.
Yes. Why do you ask?
They're saying yes, they've seen him.
They're just saying yes, generally not answering your question, but asking more like, why do you ask about Psalm?
Q kind of nods and plays with his drink a little bit before knocking back some more and says, I have not been able to see him since the attack. I'm and then he kind of spills it. I am concerned. He and I were close.
She looks up and kind of smiles on her face and takes another swig and just looks up to the ceiling of this little truck and says, I'm sure, Endeavor, you know of this. Funny. Psalm has always been one to catch one's eye. I see they have caught yours.
Well, I would say that it was pretty mutual, but
she says, and kind of looking back down, looking at you, and she smiles and says, "Do not worry. Psalm is at the direction of your commander, Nosimbo. They have sent Psalm to go find something that's arriving from the stars. I didn't exactly know what Nosimbo was saying, but they're alive and well and should return shortly."
it's like it is almost as though like the weight of the world just melts off of Q's shoulders, and then he immediately curses. She could have at least told me.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I meant to ask. Nosimbo is a quite dodgy individual. I like her, don't get me wrong. I like you all, but one moment she's there and another moment she's gone. Not like you all.
She has other priorities. But I don't believe that she would ever risk the mission. I suppose, she is a bad impy in her own right. Much more accustomed to staying in the shadows than basking in the light.
Be nice to get away from it all right now, I guess. You see her kind of like say that as she looks at maybe like some papers and reports from rangers, from some of the rangers that have given reports of Mike Field and such, and almost as if she's like really feeling the weight of leadership right now, because she will be the one to lead Mike Fields with the death of Praetor Hardell.
Q kind of just nods his head and says, I understand exactly. And then he quickly like follows it up, trying to reassure her that like leadership is not an easy task. Most of the time people are gonna like, and he's saying this in so many words, or probably more words than I, but he's like saying that leadership isn't an easy task. And there are going to be a lot of people that resent her efforts, but it comes with the territory. The important thing about leadership, though, is that like she's not entering the position out of some desire of gain. It is a position that has come to her entirely out of necessity. And so long as she, even if there are those who don't understand, so long as she puts the people before her, she can rest easy, knowing. And he kind of like thinks of his own team, because he was definitely out of commission, but they were still working. He had heard from various people about it.
Cool. I would say she takes that advice in pretty well, and ask you a response question as you kind of shed some light on her situation. She says, well, thank you for that. But leadership is best a role supported by those you trust and those who have proven themselves. May I ask you something, Q-Tepi?
Please, he says, kind of stirring his drink in his hands.
When we arrive in Michael Fields, there will likely be an argument between those that have lived there and support Praetor Hardell, wish to mourn Praetor Hardell, think poorly of my father, Ilar, and by chance think poorly of me. I wish that you, your compatriots, and Nosimo, if she's around, support me and tell of what you've done thus far. Hopefully, that will win the hearts and minds of the Michael Fields populace and get us where we need to go.
Q nods his head and kind of like gives a small bow, and he says, it was not long ago that I asked you for much a similar request. You spoke on my behalf. I will speak on yours.
Friend indeed. She pours you another drink.
Friend indeed. He
All right, what'd you wanna roll? I think you have to roll for this, right?
I was gonna ask, considering that like we're talking to each other and trying to lift each other's spirits up, in my effort to lift her spirit up, I was gonna ask if I could do like lead or inspire.
What other triggers do you have?
I have invent or create, read a situation, lead or inspire, and spot.
Yeah. Let's say. Yep, that works.
Okay.
Give me a roll. 16. Very nice. What happens on a 10 through 20?
I gotta click it. It does.
On a 10 to 19, gain 1 as a reserve and lose 1. A good reputation, a friend or connection, a useful item or piece of information, or a convenient opportunity.
Yeah, you lose your drone-ish, Langu. You lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm fine I'm fine losing a useful piece of losing a useful item.
Yeah, you you get too drunk, and after talking with Dethal, you guys probably talking more about other things, and you lose it in her cabin or truck.
I gift it to her. It's hers now.
She steals it from you. She punches you and knocks you out.
She actually beats me up. Damn, can't have nothing in Hivehome.
Send it block.
My God. Fuck's sake.
No, I give her the drone.
Okay, nice.
That's kind of like a
Um,
gift of leadership.
What do you want out of it? What reserves and such?
I honestly went into it not thinking about it, so I guess I have to look at that. Can I get back to you on it?
One of the option, like you gain one of the options as a reserve. If render
Oh, really?
connection seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Because we were kind of, I mean, they spoke on my behalf, but we weren't buddy, but, now we're
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I would say you get buddy with Dethal, and the exchange is your drone is Shlangu. Cool. Well, after that, that's everyone, right?
Kaiser? Did Kaiser already go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did Kaiser. We did
started his
yeah.
next...
Got you. Yeah, you're right.
That's everybody.
Kanye go.
Cool.
Kanye made a
Kanye
battery.
first.
Got you.
Yeah, Kanye made a
Okay.
battery.
Yeah, that's everyone.
So you all spend the rest of your week. So it's 3 weeks to Myco Fields, 1 week to come out of the caverns. You spend the rest of your week rest of your week doing your downtime actions. And Kaiser, you see Kaiser kind of meandering about, training some of the Hysterians. You see, you probably don't see Kanya just tolling away into in the back of a truck. You probably see Gia reciting things to themselves about, it's kind of self-therapizing, definitely a word. And Abiki, you're probably just drunk the whole time.
In the very least, I'm with the Thal the whole time, and instead of each of us individually.
Oh
trying to
yeah,
save
I
the
like that.
world.
I like that. Both of you are leading cooperatively and probably spending every night drinking more. And she's probably telling you funny stories about when she first met Psalm.
Yeah.
Cool. So you spend that rest of the week, and eventually, you all are at the front of the caravan, and it arrives. The cave starts to kind of the cave starts to kind of angle upwards, and you all start to see the break of light and feel the humidity of the Hivehome fall. What you hear is some music. I feel like it's enough of that music. You're out of the caves now. What you hear is you break from the crumbling caverns of Egregorian's subterranean architecture to see the aftermath of Beggar One's attack. Across the landscape lay bent trees and stripped landscapes. Just beyond the plume of particulates and other material rises several miles into the sky. The overcast of Hycene is pierced and illuminated by a red-orange hue. It looks as if the very atmosphere of Hycenia bears the scars of the orbital kinetic kill weapon dropped by Beggar One. A broadcast hits your comms, the jumbled mess of communications from evacuees, some a weeks old, some rather new, from HUC scouts and colonists of Evergreen, but a voice begins to surface from among the clutter of comms. It's gear. It's very familiar to you, and familiar to the rest of you too, sort of. But it's got a familiar touch to it, and to Kanya too, I guess. I am Union. I bring peace. Witness how I make this world clean. Cure it of its ailments. Inadequate stock. The war I wage has no end. My path is consumption. Lay down your arms, be pacified. There is no hope for you. And Kanya, when it said I, what you heard was Moonchild am Union. Every time it said I, it's always Moonchild for you. As you all hear that, what do you do?
Q probably hasn't been back to his Sets Wild this entire time, and he probably still looks fairly ragged. Like the bags under his eyes aren't completely gone. His hair is still starting to get that peppery look to it, where there are bits of gray throughout it. But he is standing, and where his eyes were kind of unfocused, there's a steely resolve behind them, and he approaches his Setsuayo, and I imagine that the domesticated Shaka just kind of gives within inside the Setsuayo, gives him a cursory look and doesn't necessarily feel like he's up to the task. But
Oh,
Q,
Nasimbo changed it for you. I think you were gone, but Nasimbo deactivated the pre.
no, let me have my moment, Shaki.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that the Setsuayo probably like after it probably was still if Nasimba deactivated it, I imagine that he reactivated it just to have more hands.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
But it's still probably looks at Q like he is like pathetic, like disgraceful. But Q approaches it, and he approaches it, and when it doesn't open up, he simply utters in a low tone, in part using his data plating, he utters "submit," and it forcibly is brought to his knees, and he enters it.
Cool. Sounds good. But yeah, the message. You obviously it sounds old to you all, and there's also not conflicting, but there are a clutter of other messages. Most of the ones that, if you all take the time to like really parse through it, most of the ones from Evergreen, the messages from Evergreen are some 2 weeks old. There are some other messages from Harsunians, presumably from escaping daylight, the place that was blown up and the place that has a plume of smoke over it, and maybe some rangers from the Michael fields.
I don't think Kanye's doing much of anything. I think he's mostly just angry and working.
Cool. Well,
Kind of the same figure. Well, less
Cool.
angry though.
as you all emerge and you hear that barrage of messages, screams from help from folks in Evergreen, knowing you can't do anything about it, it probably reminds you maybe who you think is the most up on Union history of the group.
Here.
Yeah,
I think so. I think so too. I think so too.
you're-
Sitting
I mean, they've
next to
been
it.
during SecCom and
Yeah.
they're very patriotic.
Gear, you know the old story of Union is that bad things happened during the fall. Union got their shit together. Well, it wasn't really. Well, they formed Union, got their shit together, formed First Com, tried to reconnect with all the ships that went out, the 10 that went out and did some things. And when they reached out, they found out there were a whole bunch of screams from help because some of the ships died and some of the people who tried to escape the fall died, and that influx of screams from help was a very sobering blow for Union. But this situation, the screams from help, like, a week in this circumstance seems like almost equivalent to 1,000 years, because, there's no hope of you helping these or answering these screams from help from the Evergreen folk. This is what happens to you what it kind of reminds you of is that these screams from help, very old. They tell of machines are attacking. There's, someone help us. There are probably specific calls for you all asking where you're at and such. And yeah, what do you do?
Wait, heck. So the screams for help coming from Evergreen, yes?
Yeah, they're old. They're very old. You can't do anything about them.
So they're old
Old.
transmissions and shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
old machiney boy is just doing some psychological warfare.
Oh no, they're actually real screams for help that happened some week ago. That just,
Yeah, but they're getting transmit. Oh, was there like a delay in transmission or something?
yeah, it seems like they're still coming through for whatever reason.
Oh, so it is the machine just putting things on loop so they can fuck with us.
Could be.
Well, that would definitely be what Gear assumes, because that's psychological warfare. So is this transmitting directly to all of our stuff, or is it like from a thing?
Nope. Seems to be it's a barrage of messages. So some of the messages are being transmitted from, if you spend time to look at it, from Michael Fields. Some of it are being translated from HUC folk escaping the cataclysmic event in daylight, the one that got blown up, and maybe some messages from the Grey Towns as well, and very old message, not very old, but old helpless message and desperate messages from Evergreen.
Okay, so yeah, they're getting transmitted to us.
You're just picking them up. Not
Oh, so they're like general distress calls that are being repeated.
Yep.
Okay, here I guess would just sort of advise people to turn off from receiving anything that's like a repeat message, and because that is definitely some psychological warfare. So
Turn on your spam filter.
turn on your spam filters.
Yeah, Gear, you probably see some other Hysenians who are receiving these messages. And I'd say too, Q, since you're probably with Dafthal, she's probably like very stressed out in the sense of like she's just getting all these messages from some of the escapees of the event in daylight, and she seems like, you know, it's really time to boogie and get to Michael Fields.
Yeah, so I guess Gear would put out a general like information, public service announcement, like on the public channels to as many people that have communication devices that, you know, these are repeat messages. They are intended as psychological warfare. If it's a repeat, you should mute that channel, basically.
Cool. That works. You put that out, almost like a counter narrative. Very good. But yeah, as you all start to emerge out, checking the area, you get some of the mechs, the Hyserian mechs that are with you, kind of scoping the area out, making sure that the machine is not around. You start to get a good view at. It was kind of hard to tell how many folks were leaving Hivehome when you left, like, you know, some 15,000. But once you all start to emerge from the caverns, you see the exact length of this caravan, and it is quite large. The column of refugees stretches across the horizon almost. The sun, a pale disk behind a pall of soot and ash thrown up since the destruction of the mountain, aka daylight. The dismal scene itself. The refugees move on foot, mostly dragging their belongings in hands and carts and being pulled up by the trucks. You end up seeing one thing on the horizon: an Hyserian ranger in a mech. Once this would have been a welcoming sight of friends, or a safe passage, maybe more so for the Arsenians, less so for you all. But as the caravan approaches closer, you see that this ranger is, their mech is very battered and broken. The pilot is on their, they almost look like they're passing out, almost like someone who's been riding on a horse way too long, finally passes out in like a cheesy Western movie. That's exactly what happens here as that Hyserian ranger on the horizon, their mech kind of falls over.
Well,
Q kind of inside of his set kind of looks around, and he's gonna move towards the ranger as quickly as possible.
Cool. You move toward the ranger.
I've already forgotten her name, Shaka.
Dafthal.
Thank you. Yeah, that's who he specifically looks towards.
Cool.
Like, you don't think?
Dafthal is talking to some of the other confidants right now, and she probably is trying to parse through some of the messages right now. She probably doesn't have a lot of time. She doesn't seem too concerned.
Yeah, Q is concerned. He's gonna go run up and check.
Cool. You charge out ahead. The horizon, your compatriots see you doing that in your Chetswayo. You come up to this ranger, and it is not Psalm, but it is a very tired looking Hercynian ranger in a Strider mech with an exposed cockpit. And you see probably their name inscribed somewhere on their Strider mech, and it's the name Gold. The name is Gold.
Gold and then their heels.
Gold, or not gold, sorry. Abiku kind of like raises a hand, and the mech folds away so that it's not a mech hand, but his actual hand. He kind of lightly slaps Gold, like, hey, wake up. You are safe now.
Walked for days now. Where am I?
You are with Hivehome. What's left of it?
I've gotta get up. You see them trying to crawl out of their cockpit as their mech is kind of down on the ground. Say, I've got to get to Michael Fields. I've got news of Beggar One.
Tell me, what is the news you have of Beggar One? And Q kind of like holds them in place so they don't scramble too much.
They're like kind of looking around and they're stumbling a little bit. And this is a familiar sight to you because it's clearly exhaustion and dehydration.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah. They say, I've got to go tell those in Michael Fields. Beggar One's casket. I saw it myself. It's in Evergreen. Sarcophagus. That's it.
Q kind of like just hushes them. It's like, you will tell them you are almost there, but just close your eyes for a little bit.
There's no time. I have to tell them. This is our moment to strike.
I will take you there. I will take you there. You must rest. And he his hand, the mech closes back over his hand, since it's just the entire mech is collapsible. And he closes back over his hand, and Q lifts the ranger, kind of holding them almost like a baby, but not trying to demasculate them, but just kind of like trying to get them to rest in his arms as he takes them to the caravan.
They're not going to be in your baby pose. They can stand up on their own, but they'll walk with you though.
They need sleep. They go to sleep.
Nah, they'll walk with you.
I'm gonna fucking punch you, knock you out. You don't have a choice.
No, they'll walk with you.
Don't make me do it. I'm joking.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to
yeah,
sleep.
exactly. Just punch him in the face. They're out. No. I do kind of act as a support to get them to the caravan before having someone check in on them. And then I like instruct those who are able to like latch up their mech. Their mech can still walk, so I have someone like take control over their mech and walk.
Yeah, their mech is it's got some damaged kind of like leg joints and such, and it'll probably need to be dragged along or hitched to a caravan and dragged along.
Then yeah, I send them out to do that basically.
Cool.
And so we can keep a move on. Get a
Cool
groove on.
beans. Yeah, they keep on. They probably keep telling you that they've got critical information about Beggar One's casket and it's time to attack, and they just keep on telling you that, and probably some other stuff too. But eventually, you all keep pressing forward. 2 weeks go by. The long journey to Michael Fields is nearly over, because as these 2 weeks come to a conclusion, you see before you a bowl. That's B-O-L-W. Oh, wait. I need to make sure that this token vision's turned off.
Bowl. That Shaka doesn't know how to spell words.
B-O-L-B-O-W-L.
There you go. I believed in you.
B-O-W-L.
You got there in the end.
Yeah. Anyways. You all see
That's pretty.
the chasm, the bowl that is Michael Fields. It is a spire-like development with houses built in on the edges of these caverns. But the bowl, as mentioned, goes some kilometers deep. Michael Fields is literally a old Hyserian crisis Egregorian house or home or city that's been
like an
built up
anthill.
through these. Yeah, that's been built up through these spires, and you see geothermal vents that look definitely engineered. that come piercing up some of these spires, providing energy to the Michael itself. It's almost like the Hanging Gardens just here on Hycernia. Dethal, as you all stand peering in front of the caravan, kind of looking at Michael Fields, Dethal comes up behind you all and says, "We made it. Well, let the real battle begin." And she presses forward.
He nods and he walks with her.
We follow our leader.
Yeah. Following the leader.
Cool. As you all follow the leader, make way forward, you see one unfamiliar figure and one familiar figure standing at the edge of Michael Field's main spire. Q, you know this to be Psalm. The other person, which you would presume is Bongwani. You see it, Impi, Mbumbuzulo of the Loins Order. And that is where we will end today's session.
Hell yeah.
GG's.
I know, I'll say this much. I know I wasn't like hyper present for the session since Q was knocked out. But I wanted to give my fellow players a chance to kind of like shine in their own right, because I think in the position of kind of like de facto leader, it can kind of have me be overbearing sometimes, and I want to prove that everyone's capable in the team.
I think you do fine.
Yeah, you all are good. You guys are some of the best people I've ever played with, so you're good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Aww.
wow.
You getting sentimental? You getting sentimental?
Jeez. Yup.
But amazing.
I'll get it set up. Wait.
So nice.
You getting sentimental?
Wait. How quickly is he expecting us to die?
Oh,
Oh God.
Sokka's like, man, I'm gonna miss this. What do you mean?
Actually, I was. Okay. All right, let me just.
Actually, I was planning on killing you right now.
Let me just show you this because I had a whole combat
have no
encounter with
vision.
Bongwani. But,
Okay.
Oh shit, my bad.
Oh boy, classic Shaka.
I had a whole combat encounter with Bongwani, but I realized you all are probably way too damaged to deal with it, so I skipped it.
I don't even have a fucking mech.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
always do it. You could always do it as us bursting out the doors, having to deal with this.
Oh no,
I'm fine
you guys
with
are
that.
good. No, you guys are good. You guys
Also,
Psalm took care of all this by
hate-
themselves.
I hate that I recognize what this item is. Why do you have an
What?
alchemizer Spurb?
Oh, I don't know what that is. Someone gave it to me on PilotNet.
Oh no!
Oh
Supposed to be a
I've
printer.
never.
Eh.
It's from Homestuck.
Fuck is Homestuck?
Yeah, that's the
No.
appropriate reaction, Shaka. I've never read Homestuck. I happen to know what that item is because I'm friends with someone who's really into Homestuck. Like, oh man.
Oh, guys, I do gotta go because I have to do this application for
Okay.
my promotion. So
Yeah,
let me finish that real quick. Have fun with y'all.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
I hope
catch
the
y'all later.
audio's better this time.
Yay! All right. See y'all.
Thank you, bus
Thank
driver.
you.